This episode of SpectreSoundStudios is brought to you by Metal AMINO. Hey everybody, welcome to SMG Viewers Comments. It's Friday. I hope everyone's going to have a simply amazing weekend. Let's get right to it.
Hey Glenn, my music teacher told me that buying a big amp with the cab and everything was totally useless when you could just mic up your small amp and it would sound as good. WTF, what do you think? Also, fuck you Glenn, and cheers from Quebec City.
Hey dude, greetings from Windsor, Ontario. Always wanted to visit Quebec City. I think that'd be really cool to check out one day. Anyway, I think your music teacher should probably take a couple lessons in audio production because it's very clear he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Look, if you're talking rock and roll, a lot of good rock sounds, a lot of good rock guitar sounds have been made using combo amps. That's fine. I've heard many stories about guys putting little combo amps into bathrooms and getting kind of a nice echoey sound. And that's great for rock and roll, but this is a metal production show. So I would say to your teacher, what the hell were you thinking on recording? A freaking Line 6 Spider? No. Look, there's just no substitute for a 4x12 roaring away. Mind you, Two Notes has, the Torpedo Live, the Torpedo Captor. They've got some pretty viable alternatives, but you still need a tube head for that. You definitely can't go wrong with a 4x12. I prefer a 4x12 for recording. There's some great 2x12s. We did the Harley Benton shootout there a couple weeks ago. That's seriously awesome for the money and definitely worth checking out. Meanwhile, please tell your teacher to go back to school and learn a few things about metal production.
If I ever meet you one day, Glenn, will you let me touch your hair?
I don't know. It really depends on how hot you are. Hey everybody, this episode is brought to you by Metal AMINO. It's an app with millions of different communities and happens to have one specifically for metal. There are over 100,000 metalheads from around the world and loads of content. No matter what genre or bands you into, you will find opinions, reviews, interpretations, and even instrument tutorials on Metal AMINO. What's more, Metal AMINO has a crowdsourced wiki of hundreds and hundreds of metal bands. Just choose a genre and find something awesome. Now, we all know that some metal communities get toxic really quick. Someone says something stupid or aggressive or alienating and the conversation just goes to hell. But on AMINO, people actually want to debate, discuss, and meet fellow metal fans. If you're the only one you know that's into metal or you just want to expand your own metal network, there is no better, more positive place than Metal AMINO. That's why I've been a member since 2016. You can check it out at Google Play, the App Store, or aminoapps.com. Now let's get back to the show.
I had my volume on full. I clicked this video in class and the whole class heard it. Da-da-da-da-da. Anyway, nice vid.
Well, hey there, Lightning Jimmy Joe. Good for you for watching this during your class because you might actually learn something on this show.
How do you fatten up drums without using samples?
Record the drums right to begin with. I mean, check out my series, How to Record Heavy Drums. Basically, you need a good source. You need the drums to sound great. So you need, reasonably new skins in very good condition. You need well-tuned drums. You need a drummer who can play well. There's a myriad of factors, and it's not something you can learn overnight. It's something you need to put years in to learn. That being said, it's not impossible, and reaching for a sample shouldn't be your first choice. The other thing to check out would be something called Drum Leveler. It's a plugin that is freaking spectacular on live drums, and I still use it on kick drums all the time. Not so much on toms these days, but definitely on kicks, sometimes on snare. Definitely worth checking out. It's one of my absolute favorite drum processing plugins, and it's just spectacular.
If Striper came to you and asked you to record their next album, would you do it?
Of course I would. Never turn down work, especially from talented musicians. Look, I don't care what the message is. Those guys are outstanding musicians. Oz Fox is a badass guitar player. Michael Sweet has a fantastic voice. I'd jump at a chance to work with those guys. Absolutely. In fact, I've recorded bands full of Christians before, no problem at all. These are guys who are fantastic musicians that I really respect. We definitely disagree on certain philosophical points, but that's fine. That doesn't mean we can't be professional and work together.
I think you could substitute rock and roll with Hollywood, change bands to films, and the script would be nearly identical.
I think there's some truth to that statement. I think sometimes we're getting a lot of sequels and remakes and nothing new in terms of Hollywood movies. However, I will say this, we are definitely going through a golden age of television. There's just so much great stuff being made on HBO and Netflix, and all these, 12-episode cable series are just spectacular. So technology has definitely made things better in that regard. And yes, I am a gigantic Game of Thrones fan. Can't wait for the next freaking season.
Hey Glenn, I feel like guitar and vocal mics are often a big topic of discussion, and I feel like drum mics are often left out of the mic discussion, especially for the kick and toms. My question, just for fun, if you could pick just one mic for each drum and overheads, what would they be? And you get in the whys if you want. Also, if you have an unlimited budget but mics have to be in current production, easy enough to buy used. Rock on.
Oh, I think we could have done with like one paragraph in that statement, not a whole bunch. Okay, yeah, I had these before. What would I get? What I got right here, the Earthworks DK7 drum mic kit. These things are just amazing. If you haven't watched my little unbox and test video, please do. Here's like the snare and tom mic. These things clip on. They're freaking fantastic. Here's the SR25 overhead. Apparently they're supposed to be really good on guitar as well. I can't wait to try them out. These mics are nothing short of utterly spectacular. If I didn't have those and they didn't exist, my next choice would be the Lewitt drum mic kit, which is absolutely spectacular as well. Either one, you're going to get great results. These, like I said, they're kind of like Ferraris when it comes to drum mics. They're absolutely spectacular. The only thing I might want to add is maybe a pair of Royer R121s for room mics. We used those at Phase 1 a couple of years back, and those were just amazing.
Hey Glenn, I've watched your videos for about a year now and I have a lot of respect for you. My question is, what would be the good amp for around $250? I recently had to take the place of my band's guitarist. We kicked him out because his girlfriend was always disrespectful and demanding us to put him under the spotlight, and he chose her over us. Right now I'm using a Vox DA15 that I got at a pawn shop for $100. Cheers from Texas.
Well, hey, Jonathan, good on you guys for kicking him out. If his girlfriend's getting in the way, you guys made the absolute right choice. It's like, oh, your girlfriend's got a pin. Great, there's the door. Get out. Good on you guys. That being said, $250, you might be cutting it a little close there. I'd say maybe a Joyo Zombie and a Harley Benton 1x12 cab. That might do the job. The other thing would be to try saving up another $250 and go look for a used 5150 combo. That will knock doors down, that will knock walls down. That will be freaking amazing. That's really what you're looking for. I think do yourself a favor, save up a few more bucks. It's gonna be worth it. Good luck, dude. Hope it works out well for you guys, especially since you got rid of the annoying girlfriend.
Great video, Glenn. Can you do one with elementary setting up of the recorded tracks where you start working on a mix? I think this is the point at which most of the choices have to be made, as they'll influence the rest of the workflow.
That's a great idea. First off, I'd like to say thanks to everyone who's been enjoying the Audio Basics series. I want to do these once a week, so if you guys have more suggestions for tutorials you want to see, first and foremost, check my playlists in my computer recording tutorials, how to record heavy guitar, how to record heavy drums, that sort of thing. Make sure I haven't done it already, and then please leave a suggestion, and if it's cool, I will definitely make it. I'm always looking for new ideas to do tutorials on, so if you've got a question and you're tired of watching other videos where people blather on endlessly and never get to a point, ask here, because if it's cool, I will definitely make an episode on it. But as to your original question, yes, I think that's a great suggestion for a video. I will do that basic mix setup. I got a couple cool things coming up. I think I've got some Bob Marlette multi-tracks I'm gonna be looking at, and maybe even an Aquabats song. Maybe I can do that. That should be fun. We'll see.
Dude, please, I watched 2 of your videos. I already can't stand it. There's no redeeming factor to any of it. It's like hearing a guy bitch and moan about his job or how shitty music equipment is. It's like there's a reason for watching this after the first text from musicians check what the hell from here.
Wow, somebody sure got his panties in a twist.
Not as bad as Henning, more like entertaining, unlike Henning. Love you, Glenn.
Somebody hates me, somebody loves me. Hey, what are you gonna do? That's YouTube for you.
There's a bunch of Demento stuff I would love to see people do, but Glenn couldn't post them. YouTube would have a conniption. Man, do I miss the old days where we made fun of everything and everyone.
Hey, Max, I couldn't agree more. That's the thing, man. Things have changed quite a bit since the Dr. Demento show's heyday. There's definitely a few songs that were broadcast in the 80s. I don't think you could quite get away with putting out, and definitely not putting on YouTube these days anymore. So To everybody who's ending the Demented Metal cover song contest, proceed with caution. I'd say use common sense, but you guys are musicians, so we know that is just not going to happen. Submit what you can, and if I think it's going to run the risk of getting me thrown off YouTube, I'm not going to air it. That's the best way I can deal with it, unfortunately. I've got a sense of humor, but a lot of people decided that being offended is way more important than finding things funny.
I guess since the world has changed tremendously since 1984, would Julie Brown's The Homecoming Queen Has Got a Gun be taboo/bad taste?
You know, I remember that song when it came out, you know, and it was like, it's the whole idea seemed so completely ridiculous. You couldn't help but laugh at it. The only school shooting that had actually happened up until that time was the I Don't Like Mondays case, which the Boomtown Rats did the song about. And that was where a girl had brought a gun to school and shot people, and they asked her why, and she said, I don't like Mondays. But yeah, the whole idea of Homecoming Queen's Got a Gun was just completely preposterous in 1984. And unfortunately, the 90s kids changed that, so what was once preposterous became reality, and unfortunately has become all too common. So yeah, please don't cover that one, because I'm not going to touch that one with a 10-foot pole. I mean, unfortunately, the reality of the situation has changed. There's nothing to laugh at there, unfortunately, anymore. If there was still 1984 and that sort of thing didn't happen, sure, it'd be hilarious, but it's just not worth even going there, unfortunately. And that is a very sad fact, and I think it absolutely sucks. Not only, you know, because there's certain things that are off limits, but also for the shooting victims, their families, and the survivors. I think the whole thing is just horrible.
Music education and general life experience can't produce decent metal anymore, but Frickers contests do. Go fucking figure. Maybe Glenn needs to write a book on how to create metal music. Ah, fuck. The drummers, bass players, and singers wouldn't read it unless it was a pop-up book. Seriously, I heard more creativity in last year's contest than I've heard in 5 years of disappointing metal anywhere else.
Satchmo Dog, thank you so much for writing that. You know, I wanted to say something last year about all the entries because I thought there was some really creative stuff. I thought there were a lot of really awesome entries, and it just lets me know that there's some great metal out there being made that the mainstream obviously isn't paying attention to at all. But I don't want to sound like a rampaging megalomaniac where, oh, it all happened on my contest. No, it's you guys who did it, not me. I just, you know, help facilitate it and maybe put it on a show where people are going to watch. And it was because of that show that we did last year, and we had so many awesome entries that I wanted to do this year. So yeah, I'd say, yeah, go out, be creative, go do something amazing, and let's all have a laugh and enjoy ourselves. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out Metal AMINO, a positive community for metal. Imagine that. It's definitely worth checking out. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Take care. I'll see you next time.